working on a project that is just about to get started. I'm doing my first SketchUp of it. I've got a new process for like writing out an idea before I start working on it, so that way I'm not just like going off of what's up here, and I've got like a image in front of me of what I want it to look like. And I've got another video that will show this process much better, but I'm starting something, and thought maybe you would like to hear the thoughts. This is it's gonna be a gift for my friend, and I'm going kind of quick with it because that friend is coming to Michigan to visit on Thursday. It is currently Sunday, and their birthday is the 3rd, so that would be the next Monday after they arrive. So I'm just trying to, trying to work on something. I didn't have like a pre-plan, so this is the plan. Idea is Kirby Bag with like a drawstring aspect. Essentially, the idea is, the goal is for it to look kind of like, and let me sketch this out while I'm saying it so I can show you the vision. The idea is for it to be like a backpack with strings, but for it to close around like the center. I've made things like this before, but I'm not sure if I still have an example of it. Well, okay, I didn't make this one, but this sort of thing where it's like, you open it and then you can close it and it's got the drawstring, it's got the string, like that, but I also want to add backpack straps so you can hold it. And the ideal thing is for the place where it closes to look kind of like it's Kirby's mouth. So like, oh, this is great. I certainly know how to draw. That's kind of an estimation. It'll look better. But yeah, so I'm using this big chunky pink stuff for the base. The idea is that it will knit up tight, and so that so things won't fall through. Ideally, if I knit it up and it ends up looking like it might, I can put fabric under in the inside of the bag. Then also running a line through that so it can pull. I think I might add little star beads because I've got these, I don't have them near me, so I can't show you an example, but I've got the little beads. Also, for the eyes, I want to use buttons, and I might paint those. I might just find some blue buttons because I'm sure I've got some in my collection. Yeah, because I've got there. Let's see. I've got like these buttons, which are all sorts of colors, but the backs are clear, so I could paint that. And then attach it on to be the eyes. I've got a couple of other miscellaneous buttons in here, don't I? But that. Somewhere I have a pack of buttons that are kind of more purple, but yeah. Jeez, I gotta get into my drawers at some point, and well, would you look at that? These two have just sort of fallen out. You know what? I'll keep those out. I'll keep those out nearby. I need to organize my craft drawers to get everything sorted. But yeah, so I'm gonna do that, and then also I'm gonna create like 2 squares for his boots, and 2 squares for the side arms as well. Yeah, that's the idea. I'm trying to figure out measurements because like this panel, which is for a different project that I'm working on, it is 40 long. And I was thinking 40, but I'm also trying to figure out if, like, I know that the pink yarn I have is chunkier, so it's going to be bigger, but I'm trying to think, is that going to be big enough? Because like when you collect it, it's going to kind of like that, and then, you know, it's like, that's about the estimation of how big it would be. With the chunkier yarn, hopefully it's bigger. I still might go like 45, 50 in case. Oh wait, actually, no, I'm thinking of the other panel I did. Yeah, I'll call it 45 with a question mark. I'm trying to use this project journal. It's something I've got a little sneak peek at something that I'm working on, but that video is longer and it's gonna take more time to finish. But it's a sneak peek, and that video will have a better representation of this new whatchamacallit, method of working I'm doing here. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get a good pull from this and then get to work. So I think if Kirby inhaled me, he would just mainly get like, I don't know, autism. Maybe a lot of bear information he didn't care for. Yeah, let's knit this out and see how it looks. I'm gonna turn on a show while I do this. So.
And after just forming a throuple a few days ago, Yuling is proving that 3 is the magic number by starting another group chat.
Okay, it's a little tough to work with. It's unfamiliar, but I'm getting the hang of it, I think. I got a lot of extra loop here. I can cut that and tie it later. But yeah, I'm making it work. I'm making it work. Yeah. Hello. I'm checking it. It's been like 2.5 days. I need to get moving on this because this is all I have, and I want it to be, well, larger than this. You know, I kind of hoped it would be a bit significant in size. Yeah. And tomorrow is when the friend shows up, the friend who I'm making it for. His birthday isn't until the 3rd, so I'm thinking maybe I can get away with like being like, hey, I'm actively working on it. Sorry if the surprise is ruined, but you know, ultimately the goal is to have done. There is an event tonight on the TSMP Trashy server where it's a duel, and so I'm pretty sure mainly my involvement is spectating, and just sort of, you know, being there to be hype, and especially with that, like, so with that I'm going to be able to just sort of sit standby, I expect, and be able to just knit. The bigger yarn is giving me a challenge. I know that I can knit quicker than this if it was less chunky, because I'm just not used to the chunky yarn, you know? But, oh well, oh well, oh well, oh well. Yeah. Very excited, because, like I mentioned, friend is coming out tomorrow, so is Ben. You guys are familiar with Ben. I'm getting excited for this trip. Yeah. very hyped. Been running around doing a lot of stuff, doing a lot of cleaning and getting ready with like my dad and stuff, and getting things sorted. It's a mutual friend who I've known for a very long time, since like, God, I want to say senior year. I want to say like that's around the time I really got to know this person. So it's been a little over 2 years now, since met them. Yeah, very excited. And I've known Ben for a little while longer. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I have many thoughts on it. I'm just like, but I can't really put many into words because a lot of it is just like, I'm so excited. I got out shooting my bow and arrow yesterday for like an hour, and it's the first time in about a month. And I had a great time, but I also was feeling it in my shoulders and arms afterwards. Yeah. Also lost 3 arrows that are currently still in the back forest. So need to get that. Yeah. Me and my dad decided we were gonna go on a day, and we were gonna, go into that wooded area on a day when it was sunny and drier, because yesterday it was so rainy. Yeah, I really like rainy days though. Meow. Hi, baby girl. Getting as much work done as I can. Trying to envision like if it was double this. I'll figure it out. Good morning. It is currently 4:11 a.m. and I am awake, dressed, and ready to go. And I still have like 10 minutes. My dad, this is his like start of his day. He's gonna, by the time we're back from bringing Ben home, it'll be like time for him to start his work day. So he's like in the bathroom, like changing. He's gonna be like actually awake, alive, alert. He's wearing like the actual clothes he's planning to wear for today. I mean, I put on clothes, and yeah, so just getting a little bit of knitting. I'm considering bringing this in the car with me, because I feel like any time I can get with it is a good idea. But I'm also thinking, like, will I be napping in the car? I don't know. I'm probably gonna bring it, because it's probably a good idea to have it on me. But yeah, I just thought y'all might want into it. I'm awake at 4 a.m. I'm doing a little bit of knitting. Yeah. Last night I was planning ahead for my outfit, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll wear my purple pants because they're comfy and they like look nice. And my only like sweatpants I had worn yesterday. So I was like, okay, yeah. I want my purple ones instead. This morning I got up and realized that like little memory thing I had of like, oh yeah, where are my purple pants? They're in the wash right now. They're currently in the washing machine, so No. She's been irritating me a little bit because she's been screaming and having zoomies. So, normal cat stuff. Can't really be too whatever about it, but just because it's like, it's 4 a.m. My patience is shorter. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just wearing the sweatpants. Instead. Yippee. Okay, I finished the bag, but I didn't record anything more, because I had friends over, you know, like I had 2 guests at the home, so I wasn't focusing on recording. But I know that there might be some of you who clicked on this video with the purpose of seeing how to make a little Kirby bag. So I will do you the honor of this section will be the actual tutorial section with some conversation, but also it's gonna be the tutorial section. As for yarn, you pretty much just need a pink and a red. I used the big chunky yarn because, like you saw in the video, I was working on a bigger bag, and so I wanted it to be like to take less time, and so I used the chunkier yarn so it would knit up quicker. It also I find it can fold better. Yeah. For this, I'm gonna do a mini version, so I'm gonna do like 10 or something. Let's see, that's 5. 10. Sick. You cast on. I'm not slowing down to show you how to cast on or how to knit. This isn't the step 1 tutorial. Anyways, I digress. Then we're gonna knit this out, right? We're gonna knit it until it gets to like a square. For a second, I forget that because I especially, I do a lot of knitting at work, and I work at a camp. So that means I have, like, while I am knitting, I have to sort of have my eyes up on the kids more often. I have to be, you know, watching out to see if anyone's in a little bit of turmoil, in a little bit of trouble. So for a second I like instinctively looked up, but I realized it looks kind of fucking scary because I just have a blank expression and staring straight forward. Not like scary in any sort of serious way, just, you know, I look pissed. Trip was really nice. It was great getting to meet those fellas. Yeah, it was tons of fun. We went to a lot. We saw the DIA. You know, I pre-planned. You know, I had to put like Detroit's best foot forward. So I went to Eastern Market, the DIA, hung out in Midtown. We had a IRL D&D session, which was very fun. It's a campaign that a bunch of us, like those 2, me, and then 2 of our mutual friends who live in Detroit because they're my IRLs. Yeah, very, very happy about that. It's a campaign we've had trouble planning for, so getting to have a session, not only just like a regular session, but also an in-person session was sick. The camera for this bit so I can go watch something. In fact, yeah, I'm gonna go watch Dungeon Meshi while I knit. I'll be back. Alright. Welcome back. We have our square. This one, again, is 10, of course. I didn't count. how many of the other rows I did. You just do it until you make a square. Now we need to toy it. We're gonna. So that's the word. So I have this plastic needle. It's a yarn needle. We're gonna take a bit of the pink string, the pink yarn we've been using. I'm gonna quick tie a knot, and you're gonna fold it so that your like face. Either way, it's a square, so it doesn't matter too much. I found the longer end, and there, right? I normally double tie it because I like the security of it. So, and then I might even go in once more with a bam, awesome. And then from here, I'm just sticking it through one side, sticking it through the other, pull, and then go back through the other way, like that. This side is going to be the simpler side. So, if you wanted to put in the fabric on the inside, especially if your knitting has like a lot of cracks in it, you think that whatever you want to store in the bag might fall through, should be pretty simple. With this yarn, I was finding that I couldn't find my fabric glue. Normally I do it with fabric glue, where I just take like Invisi-Stitch or something, and I run it through there. Put it over and throw a little bit, throw like some scrap fabric from wherever in it. But yeah, once you've got it, it will look like a weird sock thing. Get it pretty tight, because this one down at the bottom is going to be my bottom, so the joints are gonna need to be strong. Now, with the rest of my string and with one opening where you're gonna close it off, instead of doing that same back and forth, I'm gonna do a little circular thing. So I'm going to, not tying it off, I'm gonna go in and out, pulling the string through. Pathetically, for the tutorial, I should have done this with a different color string too. I keep calling it string because I've been making friendship bracelets. Yeah, my brain is getting to me. I should have used a different color yarn to show you, but hopefully it makes enough sense. If not, I can always make another video explaining this. Alright, once it's on this side, you're gonna tie it to that tail end that you had loose, and you're gonna pull it until it is completely closed. You're going to tie that off. I think this it's gonna have a little bit of funky dimensions, but you know what? That's fine. That's fine. It is sort of destined to be a little bit boxy, because if you're using the square, maybe a rectangle would be more useful, but I'm gonna stretch out, open it up, and you can kind of see the body of the bag start to form. So we've got the open side, and we got here. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create arms and boots. So the boots, we're gonna use that red, it's like, you can pretty much eyeball it based on how big your bag is. For this one, let's see, because I've got the different size yarn, I still might do like 4. I'll go with 5. I'm gonna go with 5. Actually, we're gonna call it 6. We'll call it 6. And then you're gonna make 2 2 squares with this. They ended up being a bit more rectangle last time I did them. It's fine. Alright, one of the last elements is a little hand. Because this is on the smaller side, I'm doing it slightly different than I did with the bigger bag. In the bigger bag, it had like a little bit of stuffing in it because the hands had to be, you know, sized up. So to make sure it stood out and it stood off of, it like shaped up how it should, I put stuffing in it. But for this, I'm gonna just do 3. You should, you know, set it to ratio however big you're making yours. Yeah, and I'm just gonna knit it out very quick because it's a very quick one. The tail long. You want to make sure this tail is long, or at least this method that I'm using. Okay, I did like 2, and then I'm going to cast it off. I cut it so that the tail is long, so we have 2 long tails. That way we can use that to attach it. Because of the smaller scaling, it'll be easier that way. Alright. Now, with this starting, I'm gonna start with this. Here is the front face. And if I like hypothetically could do this with my needle, but because again of the size, I'm just gonna sort of push the 2 strands from the hands into there, and then I'm gonna grab them from the inside of the bag and tie them off. Awesome. He's got 1 hand. And then the other side, try to line it up as best as you can. Awesome. We'll probably want to tie or cut the tails off in there. Ah, nice. Now for the boots, I'm gonna want my plastic needle again. I didn't take the other yarn off of it, so there we go. And then you're gonna take your red, and you got the boots. I'm gonna cut the tails off these ones. Those will not be needed. Alright. I'm cutting a pretty long piece to use for the sewing part, because I can always like cut the spare, but you know, it's more complicated to add more string than it is to just take the old stuff off. So I'm going towards the bottom, looping it through, and then putting the first boot on this first spot. We're gonna just sort of tie it to stabilize it. And then for this, I'm just gonna keep going up and through. Create the stitches. Might, yeah, once again, I might put my hand in there. You don't have to go through like too meticulous because the boots should stay on pretty well. That's just me saying I'm not gonna keep it too exact right here, but if I was a better YouTuber, I would have a different camera angle for this where you could see my hands better. But alas, you know, it's stuff like this that makes me empathize with those knitting like YouTubers or TikTokers, like knit or crochet ones, where I see the video and I'm like, how am I supposed to follow this? Because I can't see anything. It's like, you know what, actually I get it. I understand why your videos are like that. My bad. Alright, once you get to the end, I'm just gonna tie this off with the tail from the original tie. Nice. He's got his first boot. The bottom is still looking a little silly, but I swear it'll come together. This, I think, actually will be slightly under enough for my purposes, so I'm going to cut a new piece. Alright. Go back on the other side. I'm gonna do it again. Cut this a little short, which is making it a bit hard to maneuver the needle. Yeah. Okay. Here, let me around that real quick by pulling, like pinching at the pink section, just to push the yarn through with my hands, and then I can do for this part. Alright. Just my knitting skills to work on this. That's something I think, like when you're crafting, I find having done many different things helps a lot. There's his boots. It looks a little funky right now, but I actually don't have that strong of an excuse. Yeah. Another aspect to this, I made backpack straps, which I won't be making miniature version of it, but you just add to, I think I did like 6 across with my chunky yarn, for the big bag. Yeah, making sure when you're doing backpack straps, you're pulling tight so that there is a good amount of strength there. But for final thing, we're closing up the top. I'm gonna again take my needle and I'm gonna put the yarn through and just fold it over itself, not fully tie it. And then we're starting in the back because that's where we'll want the string to poke out, and we're gonna pull it through similar to what we did on the bottom and just pull the string so that it goes, and sew the string so that it goes in and out of the upper area. You want to get sort of fancy with it, you can take your red in this and use it for this part. I think in the bigger bag I made a braided thing out of this red because it is a smaller yarn. It's got less substance to itself. But yeah. But you got these two at the back. You can use them and you can pull them, and I'd recommend like doing a looser tie, like a bow or something, so that you can pull it open and you can use it as well. You might want to put a knot at the end of these so that when you pull it open, it can't just come out. So, knot 1 and knot 2. Yippee. You can open it. String bag. And then the very last thing, a little detailing. I added some little eyes, which I'm wondering my buttons are, because I used buttons for them, but you sort of sew 2 buttons on there. That would show the larger bag up in the corner. So you can kind of see, but that's the gist of it. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you enjoyed the video.